Koyo Kuo did just that, but her sudden passing in 2025 left more questions than answers. Let's dive into her incredible story. Born in Douala, Cameroon, in 1967, Koyo grew up with her grandmother until she was 13. Her mother, already in Switzerland, brought her to Zurich, where she navigated a new life with a Swiss stepfather. Surprisingly, she kicked off her career in banking, apprenticing at Credit Suisse. But the corporate world wasn't her calling. Art was. In 1995, after becoming a mother, Koyo made a bold move to Dakar, Senegal. There, she founded Raw Material Company, a hub for young African artists and thinkers. Her vision? To amplify voices that the art world often ignored. She curated exhibitions across Brazil, Germany, and the US, specializing in photography and video art. Her work caught global attention, landing her advisory roles for Documenta 12 and a jury spot at the 2003 Venice Biennale. But that was just the start. Koyo's influence grew as she shaped major art platforms. She joined the Documenta 14 selection committee and served on the 2019 Berlinale's short film jury. Her exhibitions challenged stereotypes, blending public installations with bold narratives. In 2019, she took the helm at Zeitz-MoCA in Cape Town, transforming it into a beacon for contemporary African art. Her efforts earned her the prestigious Swiss Prix Mère Oppenheim in 2020. And what happened next would shock everyone. In 2024, Koyo was named the first African woman to curate the 2026 Venice Biennale, a historic milestone. Fluent in 4 languages and working across Basel, Dakar, and Cape Town, she was at her peak. But in May 2025, at just 57, she passed away in Switzerland. The news stunned the art world. Online, rumors swirled. Some whispered about health struggles, others hinted at undisclosed tensions. While these claims remain unverified, they've sparked heated discussions. Koyo Kuo's legacy is undeniable. She broke barriers, uplifted African voices, and redefined what art could be. Yet her story leaves us wondering, what more could she have achieved? Her work lives on, but the mystery of her final days keeps us thinking. What drove Stuart Frank to pour his soul into Detroit's music scene, even as whispers of hidden struggles swirled? This is the story of a man whose rock, soul, and folk anthems defined a city. Born in Saginaw in 1958, Frank found his heart in Detroit, channeling Midwestern grit into songs that resonated with working-class fans. His music wasn't just sound, it was raw emotion. Frank's rise wasn't overnight. He opened for Eddie Money at Pine Knob's iconic summer shows, earning cheers from Michigan crowds. In 2011, he shared the stage with Bob Seger, and his 2005 album Motor City Serenade featured the Funk Brothers, cementing his place in Detroit's legacy. But that wasn't the whole story. Frank was a mentor, guiding a young female artist early on. She sang on his albums, joined his live shows, and leaned on his wisdom, crediting him for her success. Then came the fight no one saw coming. Frank battled leukemia, founding a foundation to help minority patients find bone marrow matches. His resilience shone through, but rumors suggest he kept the worst of it private. Fans on X speculate he shielded his family from the full truth, though nothing's confirmed. And what happened next would shock everyone. Frank passed on May 9, 2025, at 66. Sir Tom Farmer's story is one of grit, bold moves, and a knack for staying true to his roots. Let's dive into the life of a man who turned a small workshop into a household name. Tom Farmer grew up on Kirk Street in Leith, one of 7 kids in a tight-knit Catholic family. Money was tight, and young Tom learned early that hard work was the only way up. As a teenager, he apprenticed at an engineering firm, getting his hands dirty and his mind sharp. But Tom wasn't one to stay in someone else's shop forever. By 1964, he'd started his own business, and just 5 years later, he sold it for a jaw-dropping £450,000. Most would have stopped there, but Tom was just getting started. And what came next would surprise everyone. With cash in his pocket, Tom moved to the US, chasing new horizons. But life across the pond felt empty, and he missed the challenge of building something from nothing. He noticed one thing in America, though: their car shops had a level of service he'd never seen back home. That spark of inspiration brought him back to Edinburgh in 1971, where he opened the first QuickFit workshop. The idea was simple: fast, reliable car repairs with a smile. It caught on like wildfire. By snapping up other workshops, Tom turned QuickFit into the UK's go-to chain, even opening a branch in the Netherlands by 1975. He wasn't above rolling up his sleeves, often spotted changing tires himself. But why would a millionaire still get grease on his hands? In 1999, Tom shocked the industry by selling QuickFit to Ford for a fortune. Most expected him to retire, maybe sip cocktails on a yacht. Instead, he started Farmer Auto Care, a new repair chain focused on Edinburgh. Why go back to the same game? Some say it was his love for the craft, others whisper he couldn't stay idle. Either way, Tom was proving he wasn't done yet. But his next move would cement his legend in Edinburgh. In 1990, Hibernian FC, Edinburgh's beloved football club, was staring down bankruptcy. A merger with rivals Heart of Midlothian loomed, a fate fans couldn't stomach. Enter Tom, who bought 90% of the club, saving it from collapse. Here's the kicker: Tom wasn't even a football fan. He rarely attended matches, yet he couldn't say no when Hibs called, especially after learning his grandfather had saved the club a century earlier. Was it duty or destiny? Fans still debate it. Beyond business, Tom's heart showed in his charity. A devout Catholic, he poured support into Mary's Meals, a global charity feeding kids. His work earned him a knighthood in 1997, and a Commander of the Royal Victorian Order in 2009. But not everything was crystal clear. In 2006, he donated £100,000 to the Scottish National Party, sparking rumours about his politics. Tom quickly shut them down, saying it wasn't about his views. Still, the buzz lingers. Now living in Barnton with his wife Anne, Tom's life seems quiet. But owning Inchkeith Island in the Firth of Forth, that's the kind of mystery that keeps people talking. Why does a man who's done it all need an island? From Leith Streets to a knighthood, Tom Farmer built more than businesses, he built a legacy. So, what drives someone to keep giving, even when they've got it all? What makes a cricket legend walk away, at just 27, leaving a triple-century legacy behind? Bob Cowper's story is one of brilliance, controversy, and mystery that still captivates fans today. Let's dive into the life of a man who redefined Australian cricket, then vanished into a world of business and intrigue. Cowper's journey started at Melbourne Scotch College, where his talent shone early. By 20, he was smashing runs for Victoria, his tall frame and left-handed precision making bowlers sweat. His elegant style hinted at greatness, but no one expected the heights he'd reach, or how fast he'd leave it all behind. And what came next would put him on the global stage. In 1964, Cowper toured the West Indies, facing the terrifying pace of Wes Hall and Charlie Griffith. While others crumbled, he stood tall, piling up 417 runs, including 2 centuries. Fans called him fearless, his cool-headed technique earning respect worldwide. But back home, a storm was brewing that would test his resolve. The 1965-66 Ashes series saw Cowper make history in Melbourne with Australia's first Test triple century, 307 runs, over 727 grueling minutes. It was a marathon, but critics pounced, slamming his slow scoring as selfish. Dropped from the team, he seemed finished. But that wasn't the whole story. Recalled for the fifth Test, he silenced doubters, never losing his spot again until injury struck in 1968. From 1966 to 1968, Cowper was unstoppable, racking up 931 runs and 31 wickets in 13 Tests. No Australian outscored him, and only one took more wickets. At 27, he captained Victoria to a Sheffield Shield title in 1970, then shocked everyone by quitting cricket. Rumours swirled. Was it the pressure? A better offer? His next move only fueled the speculation. In 1977, Cowper joined World Series Cricket, a rebellious league that split the sport. Fans were divided. Some saw him as a traitor, others a pioneer. By the 1980s, he'd moved to Monaco, living a life most could only dream of. Reports claimed he'd built a fortune in business, but details were scarce. What was he hiding in that glamorous world? Cowper's later years brought quieter triumphs. He served as a cricket referee and earned a Cricket Victoria Life membership in 2018. But in 2025, cancer claimed him at 84, sparking tributes that celebrated his grit and mystery. Fans online speculated about his Monaco days, wondering what secrets he took with him. Bob Cowper's life asks us a question: is true greatness in the records you set, or the choices you make? His triple century still echoes, but it's his bold exit and enigmatic life that keep us talking. What do you think? Did Cowper chase freedom or flee the spotlight? Let that linger as you reflect on a cricket icon gone too soon.